a land of icy mountains, vast forests, and frozen seas. Today, it is the largest state of the United States, but once of the Russian Empire. The story of Alaska is a tale of explorers and empires, of trade and survival, of politics and a deal that forever changed the map of the world. The story begins in the mid-18th century. Russia, under the rule of the Tsars, was pushing its empire further east, across the endless wilderness of Siberia. Traders, hunters, and explorers chased the fur trade, a prize as valuable as gold. In 1741, a Danish navigator named Vitus Bering, sailing for Russia, reached the Alaskan coast. Soon, traders established outposts along the Aleutian Islands and Alaska's southern shores. What they sought above all else were sea otters. By the late 1700s, the Russian-American Company, a state-sponsored monopoly, controlled trade and settlement. Russian Alaska, however, was never heavily populated. At its peak, fewer than 1,000 Russians lived there, surrounded by tens of thousands of indigenous peoples, the Aleuts, the Tlingit, the Yupik, and many others who had lived on these lands for millennia. The Russian capital was at Sitka, founded in 1808, but life was harsh. Supplies had to cross the Pacific from Siberia. Winters were long and unforgiving, and Russian authority was never secure. The Tlingit people, determined to defend their homeland, resisted Russian expansion fiercely. While furs brought profit, Alaska remained difficult to defend, expensive to supply, and always on the edge of loss. By the mid-19th century, Russia's problems deepened. The Crimean War of the 1850s had drained its treasury, but Alaska lay far away, isolated and costly to maintain. There was also the shadow of Britain. With British Canada right across the border, Russian leaders feared that in the event of another war, Alaska could be lost to Britain without any compensation at all. Tsar Alexander II faced a decision. In the end, they chose to sell. In 1867, Russia's envoy to Washington, Eduard de Stoeckel, began secret talks with America's Secretary of State, William H. Seward. After weeks of negotiation, a deal was struck. The United States would purchase Alaska for $7.2 million, about 2 cents an acre. A place where history and geography meet in a story of global significance. The Russian flag was lowered and the American flag was raised. Alaska was now U.S. territory, but Americans were not impressed. Newspapers mocked the deal as Seward's folly. Many believed the United States had bought nothing more than a frozen wilderness. Is now remembered as one of the smartest deals in U.S. history.